I think it's kind of, a spirit of the times kind of thing. Like we are kind of drowning in point data right now through the confluence of technology because GPS exists, because ubiquitous wireless networking exists. We have all kinds of discrete points to work with, and we don't necessarily know a lot about what's happening in between these points or how they relate to each other. But we have all these separate things that we have to try to make sense of. And so, for instance, the Mozilla Location Services map that was the splash image for this event, you look at the dots on this map, and it means that somebody was there and their phone picked up a wireless network. We don't know, which of these points are from the same people, which of these networks are the same, but you get kind of a density of activity thing. I should apologize, by the way. There are going to be a lot of images of Boston in this talk because I made a lot of these images for a talk at a conference there. No offense to any other cities intended. And we have, there's transportation type data that's kind of the same way. There are buses that are reporting their location once per minute. You don't know exactly what they did in between, but if you look at what all the buses do in their minutely reports, you get a very good sense of what the total network looks like. And similarly with taxis, there's all these digital records of where taxis are picking up passengers. And again, the routes are missing. You don't know where they went after they picked somebody up, but you can see the hotspots of activity in the city based on where people are getting the taxis to begin with. And in some cases, you do have complete routes, but they're still fairly sparse. And if you tried to draw all these connected lines together from navigation systems, you would get, it's still only, once every several seconds you get a big blurb. But so doing it as points actually gives you a clearer idea of what the network looks like than trying to show the connections. Another example of GPS logs, in this case the ones that are volunteered for OpenStreetMap. On another OSM topic, one of the big types of point data is street addresses. Because most mapping data is concerned with lines and shapes. You've got streets, you've got parks, you've got state boundaries, that kind of things. But point data is actually really interesting from the perspective of geocoding, so that you can, identify what is the name of this location, what is the significance of it. And then there's also the kind of the social media stuff where people take all kinds of pictures and post them online, and you get the location of a picture, and by putting those together, you get the sense of what are the scenic places, what are the places that people really like to be, what are the places they avoid. And a slightly different sense if you look at where the geotagged tweets are, because there you start to get more into the density of population, because it's not all about where people are going out, where they're seeing something unusual, but it's what the pattern of their everyday lives look like. And the thing that all these things have in common is that we know a little bit about a lot of things, rather than having like a complete picture of anything. But if you take a lot of these little bits together, then you get a big pattern out of it.